are watching around the world. It's not the 8 o'clock show. It's not the 7 o'clock show. It is the 6:25 show UK time. A lot to get through. We had to make the show earlier. Yes, it's not Mark. The big man's back in the chair now. Do you know what I mean? Sunday night special. And look, Mino Raiola has confirmed to Sky Sports exclusive interview that Paul Pogba will remain at Manchester United. There is a very important project occurring at Manchester United, of which Pogba is included. We will talk about a contract situation. No stress are the pretty much quotes from Mino Raiola. This isn't officially from Manchester United, but obviously Paul Pogba's agent, who does do a lot of talking, not so much recently, but he has confirmed that Pogba will be staying. And a lot of people kind of won't be surprised by that, Manchester United fans. We knew that, you know, with coronavirus and everything that's been going on, it's very unlikely Pogba was going to move on. But Saeed, opening thoughts about that?
Yeah, it's the news that we all knew, but we just wanted to hopefully confirm it. And do you know what, mate? It's news that I wanted to hear, mate. I'm not gonna lie to you, man. It's been a bit miserable lately. It's not been what United fans have hoped for. You know what I mean? We wanted silence, but I think this is some light of the tunnel that maybe something might be happening now. You know what I mean? Maybe there could be positive, more news coming out. And I feel like Pogba, you know what I mean? There was a moment where I thought he was gone. You know what I mean? I thought at the ambitions of football club, would he be staying? You know what I mean? Would he see that himself winning trophies at Old Trafford? But one thing you've got to give credit for, and I always say this with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, he's brought the morale of the team back. You know what I mean? He's in a group of players now that he likes to be around. I thought, you know, when you had the likes of Marouane Fellaini in there and Sanchez, you know what I mean? Maybe Lukaku to an extent. It wasn't the greatest in terms of, you know what I mean? There were certain people that just wanted to go and they weren't here for the club. And I feel like Paul Pogba now with the likes of Martial, Rashford, you know what I mean? You've got people that want to be there. And when you're surrounded by that, I think you almost become a case of, you know what I mean? You have that feel-good factor. And Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has probably put around him and said, listen, you're going to be part of the future. You could be a future captain here. You know what I mean? You could become a future legend there. Settle down, put your foot down, you know what I mean? And showcase what you've got, you know what I mean? Because you see around the world, mate. You know what I mean? Gareth Bale at Real Madrid. Doesn't matter how much Champions League you've won. The white handkerchief comes out, they don't rate you. I think Old Trafford has realised it's his home. People, the fans love him. Majority of the fans love him. The ones that actually watch football love him and love Paul Pogba, what he does. And I feel like it's a welcome news, man. I feel like, you know what I mean? I feel without Paul Pogba, Man United are not the same team for me because it gives us something that's different. I know Bruno Fernandes has settled in and has given us something, but Paul Pogba gives you something different. And I feel like him staying is almost Man United go from here to there in terms of status. And yeah, man, I'm buzzing, man. It's some news that I just wanted to hear, man. And you know what? Shout out to Raiola, mate. Not a lot of times I say shout out to Raiola, but maybe shout out to Raiola.
Yeah. Super chat there says Mahmoud Ahmad says Pogba signing a contract definitely means that there's signings coming. Jadon Sancho 7 coming soon, boys. As you guys can see in the video title, I think that maybe the Sancho deal may be postponed for a year, but we'll get to that. Ricky, I know you've been impressed with some of Paul Pogba's performances since he came back into the team. I also know that throughout his Manchester United career, you know, you, like many other fans, have been critical of his performances or his consistency or whatever you want to call it. Agents saying this. He has seemed to have settled down after that long injury. How do you see the news that he's staying? Do you see it as you're not surprised? Do you think it's only happening because of the corona situation and it had to happen? Or are you actually pleased that that's happened and it's one less situation that we don't have to sort out position-wise?
You might have just made a good point there mentioning the corona situation, because it looks like, you know, if you to believe everything you read or hear, it looks like we're pulling out on the Sancho deal, and I don't see anybody, you know, pulling up the sort of money that you know, that we think Pogba's worth. You know, I mean, I hope I'm wrong on that Sancho thing, but it does seem to be the way it's going. So there could be quite a bit in that, what you're saying, in that Pogba might have signed the deal just because he can't get a transfer. No one's going to pull up the sort of money that we want. I hope that's wrong. I hope he actually wants to stay. We'll probably never know. You know, even if the reason is that he couldn't get a transfer, he's not going to say that, is he? He's never going to say that. So we'll never probably know. You know what I mean? So hopefully that's the reason. I'm pleased he's signed and he has knuckled down and he has played well. Post lockdown. I'm a bit concerned about a lot of our recent results, though. I mentioned a lot of people said I was an idiot a few months ago when I said I don't really fancy Bruno and Pogba as a pairing. I think they're both too attacking. I like to have a couple of players who are a little bit more steady and keep the game simple. And I'm not going to say it's because of who we were playing against, because Pogba only came back in after lockdown, didn't he?
Yeah.
Playing before lockdown. And after lockdown, everything looked fantastic. You know, we battered Villa, we battered Bournemouth, we battered Brighton, Sheffield United. But then as soon as the games got a little bit tougher. Now, I'm not saying here, by the way, that this proves anything, that I was right. I'm not saying that whatsoever. Hopefully we start a new season in the same vein that we started, you know, eight weeks ago. Hopefully we start in the same vein. But if you look at the results since then, and also, by the way, I'm not saying this is the fault of the two midfield players, but if you listen to a lot of fans, Greenwood's fantastic, Martial's fantastic, Rashford's fantastic, Pogba's fantastic, Bruno's fantastic, you know what I mean? But if you look at recent results, we've drawn with West Ham, we've drawn with Southampton, we've drawn with Copenhagen. I know we beat them in extra time, but if that was a league game, it's a draw. We've got beat by Sevilla. Do you know what I mean? So that's the more recent form as I look at it. So there's something going wrong. Now, obviously, when it restarts, it's no good drawing with these teams. Before you know it, we're just battling for fourth again.
Absolutely.
So not pointing the finger before anybody comes back on there saying he don't like Pogba, he don't like... I don't really know what the answer is. I actually think the problem myself might be with the forwards. But it's definitely not as hunky-dory at the moment as what people seem to think it is.
I've been talking a lot about that, about, you know, some people on our side, I said it kind of to you in the conversation we had off camera. I've been saying to a few friends that you know, you can always get gassed in the limelight and thinking everything's great. But when everything was said and done, after the inquest of, you know, I said, great, we got top 3, so that's fine. Celebrated that weekend, but afterwards, you know, get the Europa League out of the way, see what happens. Okay, we didn't win it. Now you can really take it all in. And I'm with you, Rick. I'm like, we're not as good as we think we may have been when we were going on that run. And there's a lot of things to fix. Super chat there says Sam Hodgson. Hodgson says, why can't United go for several players at once, like Chelsea with Havertz and Chilwell? It's always one player or nothing with us. Hold that thought there, guys. Saeed shaking his head. Another super chat. Just want to get it on the screen before it disappears. I think it may have just disappeared, actually. Where is that? Oh, here it is. This is from Carl Peacock. Pogba improves United. Love you, Free. Keep up the great work. Big up yourself, Carl. And Ray S says, Pogba new contract is a statement. Saeed, back to the last super chat, the first one, which was, why can Manchester United never reel off a couple of names, be genuinely going for them? You know, we tried to go for Gabriel last minute, supposedly, embarrassingly. Didn't work, as per usual. Not to say I know plenty and much about him, but that's just what happened. Sancho deal. I mean, why can't Manchester United do that, Saeed?
Because the wood wouldn't, mate. That's why, mate. And the lack of structure of the football club, mate. You know what, mate? Shambolic, mate. The club is an absolute mess, mate. I don't know what's going on with the football club. People are getting gassed by Sancho. And I've always said it, mate. I've always said the club need more than just Sancho. And I said to you, at what cost? You know what I mean? Sancho, for me, is a brilliant player. Will improve us massively. But the problem is, though, it's a squad game. And people don't realize it. It's a squad game to build to next season. We were struggling for many parts. That lockdown, I kept telling you about the squad and the squad depth. It's not good enough and whatnot. What do you go do? You need to go fix it. And Ollie's crying out for this year. Ollie said it in many conferences. He said it after the season. Woodward is messing around, dilly-dally around. I don't care if there's three weeks left in the transfer window. You've got to get the signings done now. Banter club like Arsenal, I call them a banter club, because they're historically known for getting top 4 and they rest on the laurels. Well, you know what, mate? This is what we've become right now. If we don't fix up and we don't act out together and get this done early, mate, we are going to become 6th or 7th, mate. Mark my words, mate. I'm telling you right now, because Sancho for me is a quality player. But you're looking at the CDM role. We need a CDM. Centre-back now. Where is the centre-back coming from now? Please tell me. Koulibaly's going to City. People don't want him because he's too old. Shame on you, by the way. Is the Power Torres about? There's maybe other defenders. Konate, maybe he's about. Ramangoli. But are you trusting the board? Are you trusting this board to have that kind of level of understanding, level of knowledge?
Ricky,
you know what I mean?
As Ricky goes to speak here, Saeed, I don't know if you want to just come out the stream and come back in. You're looking a little bit blurry. Ricky, what was you going to chime in there with?
I wanted to come in there because I'm not saying Saeed's wrong. Maybe we need a centre back. Maybe we need a CDM. I can't believe he didn't play Matic in that semi-final. I think we've got a CDM who's perfectly capable, but he didn't play him, and so be it. But at the end of the day, we haven't won these games. When you think about the supposed, when I say supposed, some of these players are top players, some of them are probably not. But when you think about the goals we've got in Greenwood, Marshall, and Rashford, and the supposed quality we've got with Bruno and Pogba, we've scored 1 against Sevilla, we've scored 0 against Copenhagen, we scored 1 against West Ham. Who else? We've got 2 against Southampton. There's too many games where we're scoring 0 or 1. Do you know what I mean? So it isn't, we probably do need a CDM because Matic can't go on forever, and certainly we need a centre back, whether it's as cover, but we're also not scoring enough goals. I have a theory in my mind as well that if you do play better and score more goals, you will keep more clean sheets. If we score 3 in a game, like was happening at the time, by the way, apart from Bournemouth, we beat Brighton 3-0, we beat Villa 3-0, we beat Sheffield United 3-0. It's like when City play, they often win 4 and 5. I know they didn't win as often this season, that many, but they did. It's got a lot of goals. It's regularly with clean sheets. Teams struggle badly when you're attacking a lot and scoring goals. So our defence will be our defensive record. It doesn't mean the defenders are any better. If we start scoring more goals, our defensive record will be better, trust me.
I hope so. I'm just going to get through a couple of super chats before we carry on the chat, guys. Nicole Shikuya says, if the board doesn't deliver for Ollie this summer and results don't go our way at the start of the season, would the fans turn on Ollie or not? I think that's a really big question there. Hold that thought there, guys. Another super chat here from James. Chances Pogba given the captaincy and new contract, James Murphy. So hold that, guys. Remember that. That's a good question. That's considering what's going on with Harry Maguire right now and how that ends up. I mean, God knows what's going to happen with Maguire at this moment. Zay Miasi, as usual, says Saeed, the Banter Club, who has bought Willian, Gabriel, and soon Partey. Woodward might as well be partying in Greece with Maguire. I'll tell you what, if it carries on like this, Saeed, he might have a point. And Matt Gator says, surely adding 1 or 2 quality players and improving gradually is better than a 50% squad overhaul and waiting for them to gel. What if they don't? So back to the beginning of those batch of super chats. Thanks for the super chat, guys. Smash a like if you're watching. Hit the subscribe button if you're new. As per usual, if you're joining us, Mino Raiola has confirmed that Paul Pogba will be staying at Manchester United. And there are reports that Manchester United have ended their interest in Sancho for at least another year. Might go back next summer. We'll dive in at that. But guys, on that notion of the super chat saying that if Solskjaer isn't backed in this summer transfer window for whatever reason, they couldn't get who they wanted or they didn't want to spend the money, whatever the inquest is, and we start the season badly, Saeed, to start with, can you see people turning on Ollie, or do you think they will know that it's the board that's actually done it so that the blame wouldn't be at Solskjaer?
Listen, I'll be real with you. Yeah? I'm the biggest Ollie critic, you know me in it, but even I'm at this point where I think Ollie needs help, mate. And I'm going to put my differences aside. I'm going to put my agendas aside. I'm going to put everything that I think about Ollie aside because I know he's tactically inept. I know he's tactically naive. I know there's certain parts of his game that are just not good enough as a manager. But when every manager needs the tools to thrive on. And I feel like, you know what I mean, they're not helping him out. I said it to you against in January, before Burnley game. They're hunging him out to dry because the quality is not there. You know what I mean? And inevitably, you're going to hunger out a manager to dry because you're putting out a group of players that he can't improve. Daniel James, for example, he cannot improve. You're bringing on that guy from Bournemouth. Historically, he's not going to improve him. You look at it from there on the position you're going to play. McTominay has he kicked on since. You're looking at that moment there. You just got to help Ollie. And Ollie, for me, has to go to the board and have crisis talks and say, listen, mate, I need help. If you're not willing to help, mate, then I'm going to leave. And you don't surprise me, mate. If Ole Gunnar Solskjaer doesn't get backed, yeah, and it goes into December, mate, and he's looking at himself, he might just resign, you know, because he's thinking to himself, listen, mate, I don't want to bring this shame to the fans. He's a legend of this football club. He might just think to himself, you know what, mate, I might as well walk, mate, and make a statement here. Because if you're not going to get backed here, and if you're not going to back him now, then you might as well sack him, mate. That's all I say to you right now. Back him or sack him. The club have got to make a decision here. Because this right now, Arsenal are going to become ahead of us now, which I believe is an absolute travesty of football. If Arsenal Football Club gets top 4 next season, yeah, I swear I might as well cry, mate, because they are not our level, mate. We should never, ever be looking at Arsenal as our level, mate. They are officially banned to FC. Look at Tottenham. Europa League, they'll suffer. Wolves, for me, are coming up. Leicester. There's not a time to mess around now. It's not a time.
Do you know what? I will say this. I feel like you're really angry at Arsenal and Arsenal right now, and the fan base right now. That
No,
troop
because
thing, I think, has
no,
made
no,
you
no, they're
angry.
pissing me off. You know what it is, yeah? You know what it is, yeah? They need to stay in their lane, mate. You need to stay in your lane, mate. They can't.
Sorry. Don't bite. Don't bring them
Nah,
up.
man, they're pissing me off, man. They're pissing me off. They're acting like they're going to win the Europa League and the Premier League. Listen, mate, you're playing in Kazakhstan, mate. Go and play in Kazakhstan where we're playing in PSG Stadium, yeah? There's levels to this, yeah? Don't come at us, yeah? Because we're playing in the Champions League. Where you're Gabriel and Aubameyang, yeah? Aubameyang, yeah? Sign a new deal, 300k a week, yeah? To play in Kazakhstan, mate. Enjoy that, yeah? Enjoy that, yeah? Mugs, man. They're absolute mugs they are, man.
While Saeed goes and chills out and gets a glass of water or something, is Saeed, back to what Saeed was saying about back Ollie or sack him, or if it goes south, Ollie might walk. And is Saeed being a bit out of context there? Is he making it sound worse than it actually is? Or do you agree with Saeed in terms of if Ollie doesn't get the right tools, then it could be actually a really difficult season for him?
It could definitely be a difficult season. I'm not sure. I mean, Ed Woodward was mentioned before. I mean, I know he probably isn't the best man for the job, but at the same time, we don't know if he's being given the money, do we? We don't know. You know, we don't know if the Glazers have said to him, "Look, you've got 50 million quid, spend it wisely." We just don't know, do we? I'm not defending the fella. I'm just saying, you know, how much is there to spend? If there's money to spend, all he's got to spend it wisely, and he's got to tell the man which players he wants. I'm not sure there's going to be. I think if there was enough money there to buy Sancho, I think they'd be going all out for Sancho. So I don't think we've got anything like that sort of money. So, you know what? All he might have to struggle along with what he's got, maybe plus a couple of squad players, because I don't think if you're going to spend sort of 30 million on two different players, they're not necessarily going to be players that walk into the first team, are they? And that's where we need to strengthen. I've heard people talk about the squad a lot. There was a lot going on about I put on Twitter about Ollie was bang out of order not bringing the subs on until 87 minutes in that final, which I'll stick by that as long as I live. I'll stick by that. But
you've got to try something.
Yeah, people are saying to me that the quality on the bench isn't good enough. They're talking absolute rubbish. Rashford was dead on his feet. He was dead on his feet with 20 minutes to go, apart from the fact that he wasn't playing well. Now, at least Dan James is a winger who's fast and fit. I don't care if he's not going to get the ball. He did actually get one really good ball over. He was only on 3 minutes. He might have done a bit of damage if he was on 20 minutes. So, well, I'm not arguing Dan James's case as to be a starter in the team, but the manager's got to realise that a fully fit, flying player who's champing at the bit is going to be better than somebody who's dead on his feet and not having a good game anyway. Without any doubt, I don't care who he is.
Just anyone, even if it was me fully fit. But I see what Ricky means in terms of Solskjaer bringing on the subs with almost what can they do in 3 minutes, but is it? I'm sort of thinking, is it Solskjaer kind of how Mourinho used to do things to make a point?
I know what you're going to say.
Almost like he's saying I tell you what, look, they're so bad. I don't even want to use these guys. Help me bring some people in, which is at the detriment to us. Saruba says the only reason the board is delaying Sancho is because they don't intend on signing anyone else. The later it happens, the better for the board. I.e., we were trying. We got him really late in the window. There's no time to get anybody else. And I agree with Ricky though. If we go hammer and tong for Jadon Sancho, that's going to cost the best part of over £100 million. If we spend over £100 million in this current window on one player, I can't see where we invest in other places. I mean, do you know what I do want to do? We kind of moved on from Pogba really, really quickly, actually, in terms of Pogba, Ricky, what does he give us at his best? Is he, some people say he's overhyped. Some people say, he hasn't been that good. Do you think Pogba can put all of that behind him now and truly settle down and actually we can see the best of him?
Yeah, definitely. I think Pogba can bring a lot to the team. He has simplified. I didn't used to be a massive fan of Pogba's because I felt he played too many fancy balls, too many long balls, too many difficult balls. Still does on the odd occasion, but he does seem to have settled down and play it a lot more simply. And I've liked what I've seen since lockdown. So he's a massive improvement, especially when you consider the players that have gone before. But he's still a creative player. And people are going to say, what's he bringing him up for? But you need somebody who's going to stay at home. If Matic plays, Pogba plays better. I know everybody said Fred played. Fred did play well. He had a good game from what he can do. Matic stays at home and he allows people to get forward. If you look at their winning goal, nobody's behind the ball. The number 22 who passes it to Navas, he's got Pogba coming from one side, he's got Fred coming from the other side. I've had people say to me, if Matic would have played, he wouldn't have stopped the cross. He don't have to stop the cross. If he's simply behind the player who receives the ball, he might make that player pass it backwards instead of passing it forwards. You just need someone who holds the position, like Carrick used to do. Don't say I'm comparing Matic to Carrick. I'm not. Yeah. He knows how to play the position. Sometimes it's almost a bit like the cones in training, having to dribble around the cones. You just need to be in position. And when the kid, number 22, passed it to Navas, who made the goal, there's nobody goal side of him. That's wrong. It's wrong on Pogba's part. It's wrong on Fred's part. It's wrong on Bruno's part. Now, Matic probably would have been behind him. I'm not saying he'd have took the ball off him, but just by being behind him, he might have forced him to pass it somewhere else. You just need to be, somebody needs to be in that position.
By simply being in the right place, Ricky, saying their position. Right. Saeed, I know obviously you were saying that, credit to Ollie for settling Pogba down, and there might be an inquest into, why he really has Sam. But like Ricky said, we're never going to know. But in terms of Paul Pogba, forget what rival fans say. I mean, Manchester United, our own fans have said, he's not quite this, he's not quite that. Do you think now, actually, with all of that being said, having a decent period after lockdown, there's no agents talking, there's no brothers talking, nothing like that, no controversy around. All the controversy seems to be surrounding Harry Maguire right now. Can Pogba just knuckle down and actually go, yeah, you know what, we're building something here?
Yeah, I think he can, and I think he's always done that. For me, I've never ever complained about Paul Pogba's attitude or his ability to play, because the ability's always been there. It's almost like the application and the dedication to play and what the club wanted to do. You know what I mean? For the last 4 or 5 years, we've been haggling around top 4, top 5, top 6. This is why I believe it's a perfect summer for Paul Pogba and for Man United as a whole to move forward. You know what I mean? The qualities of Paul Pogba should not be fighting for top 4. And if he was to leave right now, I wouldn't blame him, because I know he's ceiling, Paul Pogba. Pogba should be playing at the highest level possible. But Man United needs to help him achieve that. And with the likes of Bruno Fernandes there, helping him out, you know what I mean, giving that extra quality, I think that maybe a CDM would help him out even more to play more advanced forward. But the only problem, my issue is next season is, I look at the Solskjaer needs to work on Bruno Fernandes and Paul Pogba, because they both have to say discipline. And what I mean discipline is, Paul Pogba cannot go forward at the same time Bruno Fernandes go forward, because it leaves Matic exposed. And when Matic's exposed, then you see the frailties of Matic, and then you see the wing backs go forward, there's spaces in behind. So I feel like maybe Paul Pogba next season, maybe he's got to be clever in his position now. You know what I mean? He's getting into his peak years right now, but I feel like he's got to be more of a, you know what I mean? Can he be more defensive? Can he go forward more? Can he be that box-to-box that we always wanted to see? I know Pogba's a box-to-box, but I want to see even more. I want to see him drive even more. Get from the advanced position. Let him go run forward with the ball and see how he can develop in that position. But I think there's levels to go with Paul Pogba. I don't think the Paul Pogba you see right now is what you're going to see in next season. He's got more levels to go up to. And that's why Man United fans have been so frustrated by Paul Pogba. Can he go from here to there? But then sometimes he'll give you a low performance, then he'll give you another performance. It's all about Paul Pogba doing the simple things right. And when Pogba does the simple things right, mate, he's world class, mate. Absolute world class.
That last bit there, that's my line that I always like.
Yeah. I sealed it there. You get me?
I want to see Paul Pogba. I love Paul Pogba. I know what he's all about: the tricks, the flicks, the ability. But similar to what Ricky says, like when I watch my football, yes, I like the flashy stuff, but it's doing the simple things consistently that actually makes you become great, and then you add the other things in. And when I look at the best of the best, yes, De Bruyne might pay that super duper pass round the fullback and it looks amazing. But by and large, 90% of his game is 10-yard passes, is 15-yard passes between the lines, first time without looking or bouncing it to someone. All the simple stuff is correct. And then the amazing stuff happens. And I just want to see Paul Pogba continue to do that more. I think you're right. If he does the simple stuff at the right tempo and does it consistently, he can add in a little, when two men try and get the ball off him, he's gone, you can't get it. A 30-yard pass over the top, delightful ball. That's there. But I want to see him do the consistent stuff. Jack Webb says, some people saying they're happy Pogba is staying, are the same man that were blaming him for everything. They're fickle. Also, thoughts on Henderson staying next year? Ricky, I'll come to you first on that. You saw Sheffield United go out and buy Ramsdale from Bournemouth for 18 million quid, and Dean Henderson arrived back at Manchester United. A friend of mine said, Flex, listen, I guarantee you he's going back out on loan again. They're signing him up for a 4-year deal. They might try and sell him and make money on him. He's definitely not going to replace De Gea. He doesn't support Man United. That's what he said to me. And he kind of got me thinking, because I was like, nah, Ollie said he's going to be United future number 1, England future number 1. Then I thought they're going to give him a long contract, but they'll probably try and loan him out again. Where do you stand on him arriving back at Manchester United? What do you think Ollie should do with him?
Obviously, I don't watch every Sheffield United game, but obviously most people say he's had a fantastic season. Then I've seen the odd person on Twitter saying, oh, he made a few mistakes here and there, he was at fault. And obviously, I remember him letting the one in against Liverpool.
So, and Newcastle was at fault as well. He had a bad game against them. Yeah.
So I'm not sure, if I'm honest, Flex. I'm really not sure. De Gea's made some errors this year. I'm sure Henderson's made some errors. Henderson has probably come under more pressure during the season, though, than De Gea has. I would imagine, although we weren't too clever in the first half. Do you know what I mean? But and if they're going to give him a big contract, I mean, is Romero going to go anywhere? I'm not sure.
Well, the talks are Adam presented as well. Good to see you, Adam. Nice of you to show up. You know what I mean? Well,
yeah, you could. Yeah. I was going to swear then.
We're basically talking about Dean Henderson, Adam, and the fact that he's ended up back at United. Obviously, Sheffield United spent big on Ramsdale. What do you think? Just to finish off on Ricky's bit, yeah, the talk size probably Romero would move on if Dean Henderson does stay, but there hasn't really been any concrete evidence or stories as of yet to what they're going to do with Dean Henderson. I think it's all kind of what the fans think. There hasn't been any real, just that they're negotiating a new contract, and I think 100k a week is ludicrous for not having one first team appearance for Man United. That's me personally. That just, we talk about not wanting to give Sancho big wages and all that, and then all of a sudden we're about to give a keeper who hasn't even played for us in the first team 100k a week. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see, Ricky. Adam, what do you think the best thing to do with Henderson is? Give competition to De Gea, or sign him up for on a 5-year deal and loan him back out again?
It's like everything. There's nothing concrete with anything we do at the moment, is there, mate? It's like every single story is sort of half-hearted. It's just a link. It's just a rumour. It's just some noise. Whereas every other club, whenever the news breaks, it's concrete. And you know what's happening with us. It doesn't. The same with Henderson. Again, he's saying one thing on social media, thanking Sheffield United for his time there. And then it comes to United and we're like, well, he's a United player. So where's the announcement from United? Then we see pictures of him turning back up at the training ground again on social media again. And it's like, well, come on, United. What's going on here? We don't know what's going on. Get rid of Romero. Get rid of Grant. We can't have this many goalkeepers. I don't think Romero will hang around. Yeah, Romero's not going to hang around if Henderson comes in. So for me, if Henderson comes in, then it's got to be him and De Gea, and that is it. Whether or not Henderson will be happy being number 2, he's going to be happy being number 2. He's on 100 grand a week, isn't it? But then, like you said, my issue with that is there's 100 grand a week there to go and put onto another player, i.e. Sancho's wages or something like that. So it all comes down to United and the way they're handling things and the way that they have been handling things now for a long time. And it's just annoying United fans no end up now because there's no clarity. There's nothing concrete. And it's just, we're talking about goalkeepers coming back. We should be talking about the rest of the squad being fixed. It's all about goalkeepers. It's one area we don't need to worry about. And that's all that's coming out of the club right now. I think it's trying to cover up the flaws of the rest of our structure and what else is going on this summer. For me, it's an absolute joke at the moment. Nothing's going right.
A lot of super chats from you guys. I'm just flashing them up on the screen because there's a lot of us in this chat, and sorry, I can't read out all of them. So big up to everyone sending the super chat. I'll make sure they all get flashed up on the screen at least. Saeed, before I ask Adam about his feelings on the Pogba, situation, I mean, what's your thoughts on Dean Henderson coming back, especially negotiating a new deal, 100k a week?
100k a week, mate. I'm a bit startled with that, mate. Man United give out contracts left, right, centre, mate. You know what? Yeah, I'm happy the guy's got 100k a week, yeah, but 100k a week, man, for a second keeper. You know what I mean? What's going on, man? And I know it is. I don't disrespect anyone that gets wages like that because you know what I mean. You get it as a footballer, you deserve it. You make it as a professional footballer. But the way structure at Man United needs to change, mate. Because for me, if he's on 100k a week, then he's a starter for me. He has to be a starter. And I know David De Gea's on 350k a week, but it just for me, like, what's going on? Like, that Dean Henderson is coming back. Is he coming back as number 2? You know what I mean? What we do with Romero, like Adam says, what we do with Lee Grant. Lee Grant's just chilling here, good vibes FC, you know what I mean? He's loving life, you know what I mean? And it's just a case of, I believe Dean Henderson's going out on loan. And whether that's a top 6 club, like maybe, I don't know, Leicester somewhere, maybe Everton might need a keeper. I think something goes on the line here. There's got to be some reason why they've given a contract to him and a long-term deal. Something must be going on here because maybe they've talked to Henderson and said, listen, you're going to be our future goalkeeper, but we need you more. Go on loan for another season or 2, establish yourself, and then when you're ready, 25 years old maybe, come back to the club. You are ready because David De Gea will be 31, 32 by then. You are ready. But like I said with Adam, for me, I'm happy that it's coming, but is it again another kind of mask on what's happening right now in terms of no transfers? You know what I mean? Is it a case of, well, we've got Dean Henderson, we've got Paul Pogba to sign, and we've got Harry Maguire out of prison. You know what I mean? Are you happy with that, guys? You know what I mean? It's just ludicrous, man.
Okay, Ricky, I'll come to you shortly where we discuss the next part of the video, which we'll be talking about the Sancho deal potentially being postponed until 2021. And we'll obviously also speak about what's happening with Harry Maguire and what should or shouldn't happen depending on the outcome of that with the captaincy, etc., etc. I'll come to you, Ricky. But Adam, since you joined us, have a quick say on your feelings towards Mino Raiola basically coming out and saying that Paul Pogba will stay at Manchester United. There are no issues. There is an important project happening at Manchester United, of which he is included. We will sit and negotiate contracts. No stress. How do you feel about that?
It's a cover-up, mate. Again, I mean, it's not again. Who's made the announcement? It wasn't United.
No, it's not United.
What control does this club have over anything that happens to us and the players? We have zero control over all of our players. Raiola's come out of it. Damasio's jumped out. I've seen Damasio's as well. Whether the club's allowed this to come out in the wake of what's going on this week, which would be a massive cover-up, because we've had a shocker of a week. What's happened with Maguire, then obviously we somehow got linked with Gabriel, knowing that he was going to Arsenal anyway, just so we get some more banter on us. But for me, Pogba, he's still not signed the deal. All it is talk about him signing the deal, which we already knew about. You know what I mean? We knew this before Raiola says anything. And again, where's the club announcement? Where's the control? I mean, this happens with no other club, it seems, but United and United's players. It's like they run and they say exactly what they want to say and they make announcements when they want. Remember Fellaini doing it. I'll decide my future in so-and-so weeks. What? Who are you to say what happens to your future? You're paid by Manchester United, and this is what's happening. We've lost all control when it comes to the summertime and the windows. There's absolutely, it's just absolute chaos, and we'll touch on Sancho and stuff like that now, but I do feel like this is sort of being leaked out because United need to have some a little bit of good news. Pogba signing a deal is great news for us. It's fantastic news, but we need to build a team around Pogba. The major announcement this summer shouldn't be Pogba signing a new deal. It should be what's being built around players like Pogba, and that's that caliber of player. That's what it should be about. It's all about what happens after that. This is just, again, it's just United and the way we work, and it's the same every single summer. And it's Henderson, again, no announcement. Pogba, nothing's come out of the club. All we're doing on our account is selling shirts. That's all United are doing. New kit launches. That's the only official announcement we've had over the last few weeks. And obviously they had to say something about Maguire. So for me, I'm chuffed to bits if Pogba signs a deal, but seriously, I knew that was happening weeks ago, and it's nothing news to me. It's nothing new, mate. It really isn't. Great, but that's what we already knew.
Okay. Just under 9,500 people watching, which is brilliant. Let's see if we can get to 10,000 people watching live. Smash a like under the video. Hit the subscribe button in the bottom right-hand corner as well. Remember, you can join the United Stand Members Club as well, and I do my best to get all of the topics up from the super chats as well. Ricky, on to you. Sancho, potentially, talks or rumours, you could say, of the deal being left till 2021. I know you mentioned earlier that you hope that wasn't the case and we can sign him, etc. But do you think there's anything in that? Do you think that'd be a wise choice for Manchester United to let Sancho, slip through the net, as they say, given that the price tag will be too high and we can spend that money elsewhere this season and then maybe gamble and try and get him at the end of next?
Not really, no. I think if they're going to try and get him, I think they should try and get him now. we need, we like I've just said, the firepower seems to have dwindled these last 5 or 6 games, scoring 0s and 1s pretty regularly, the occasional 2. And I just think we need a bit more firepower, me. And Sancho can score goals and he can make goals. And as I've said numerous times on here, I think the team can play better. We need to play better. And I think what I've seen of Sancho, he looks like a good footballer. I think the team would play better. And whether he's scoring them or making them, I think more chances will come along. He doesn't have to do any of them things. It can just happen because the team's playing better. And what I've seen of him, I think we'd play better if he was playing for us.
Ricky making it very, very clear there, Saeed, that maybe don't go for the squad depth now. If you want a player of Sancho's ilk, go and get a player of Sancho's ilk, and the front three are the ones maybe who aren't firing as much as we think they might be. He's basically saying maybe potentially gamble with your midfield and your defenders that you currently have got and go and get Sancho. What are you saying, Saeed?
Nah, mate. I'm one of them, mate. I'm going squad, mate. I've said it now, mate. If Sancho comes, he comes, mate. But I'm looking at the squad, mate, and I realise we need squad depth, mate. Champions League football playing. You're telling me with that squad, yeah. I don't know if you see the fixtures, Ricky, but when we play a Champions League fixture, we've got Liverpool. I think it's Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea. I think it is, and a few hard, Leicester away or something like that. But there's a lot of tricky fixtures, and I feel like Sancho is not gonna fix this solution. It really isn't.
Everton, Southampton, and West Ham away.
Exactly.
Chelsea, City, and Liverpool at home.
Exactly, mate. You know what I mean? It's not going to work out. Sancho, for me, is not the solution in terms of what we need right now. I'll be honest with you, guys. I feel like we've got to wait till next summer. We wait till next summer, but what we do with this deal, is we're going to get, for me, Partey's crying out for United, mate. It's 50 million euros. People don't understand it. 50 million euros is an absolute bargain for Partey. Then you go and get the left-back solution sorted out. Regulion, yeah? 25 million for Regulion. Go and get him. Luke Shaw is not a... He's injury prone. He's not going to be reliant on the season. I don't want Bradley Williams. People are scapegoating Bradley Williams. So you go get Regulion. That's 2 positions sorted, yeah? Then you go get Van der Beek for me. Crying out. 40 million. 40 million for Brooks. 40 million for Van Dijk. Personally, I would choose Van der Beek, 40 million. Because he's got the quality there. Then you go get maybe another attacker in there. You know what I mean? Maybe another left forward. Maybe someone that can play in both wings. You know what I mean? Then you go get someone like that. But for me, it's an absolute travesty, mate, that we're not got the players around him, mate.
Right, I don't know if a fly just flew in front of your lens or something. It looks like you're in...
Oh, shit. Yeah, it's a fly. Sorry. Yeah. It's mad. It's a fly, man. It's a fly, yo. It's a madness. You know what I mean? It's Ed Woodward. That's Ed Woodward, mate. That's Ed Woodward trying to say, listen, you're not buying any transfers, mate. It's you know what it is, yeah? Fuck Woodward. And I say it here right now. Fuck Woodward, mate. Fuck Woodward, mate. I've had enough of this Woodward, mate.
I've taken him out.
I thought it was a lot of hot air coming out of his mouth.
I've had enough,
man.
It's cooled off.
I've had enough, man. It's pissing me off, man.
Hold on. You weren't saying F Woodward when we got Bruno Fernandes.
I was saying that, but I was saying that. Go watch a Burnley one. Go watch a Burnley fan cam, yeah. I said fuck Woodward and the Glazers, mate. I said it.
Okay. Adam.
What a shed, Saeed. It's not 8 o'clock like normal.
Listen, mate. Anytime what shed for me, mate. Have you seen what crisis we're in right now, mate? What crisis we got?
You can criticize his transfer dealings, but to do the F him and F, easy.
Nah, man. This is the time to say this right now, mate.
No, I'm just saying the way you say it. You got to remember that you're on it. You got to remember you're on it. Muzzy Lion says, why would you sign Sancho next season when the Euros are on next year in the England squad and a major tournament? Add another few million into the fee as well. Adam, what's your say on the Jadon Sancho saga? Would you go for him now or?
No, you need to get him now. I understand what Saeed's saying. I do. But next summer, we all know, I just said it before, then it's well documented that Barcelona want rid of Luis Suarez. And straight away, as soon as Suarez leaves Barcelona, you've got the big fish in challenging United for the signings of the Sanchos, the likes of these players. The only reason Sancho is available to us right now is because every other club is struggling. I mean, we are in a position where we could probably just about afford Sancho. But for me, to let him go next summer, we won't get him next summer. That's what my opinion is. I don't think we would get him. And then we would lose another big player who could be an integral part of our future for, a decade even at that age. And that is a quality player that we need. I understand totally what Say's saying. I just think getting a squad of good enough players is more of a challenge. Is more impossible than getting the Sancho deal over the line this summer. Partey, I agree with. That player there is probably the only one that's been linked with us that I would say is probably ready to come into our team right now. Everyone else, you can forget about your Brooks talk and all that garbage. That's not going to work for United this summer. We've already got them players. We've already got Freds, McTominays. We've got these players there waiting. For us, we need to go out and get the quality player in that position, and then we can move back looking at it. I think we've talked about it many times before. Defensively, we're not horrendous right now. I understand what the boys are saying about Shaw injuries and things like that. We're not horrendous. It's not the end of the world, but we've missed out on big players before because we've just dragged our heels. The only reason we're still in the fight for Sancho now is because no one else is in for him. It's that simple. Soon as next summer comes, Sancho, I mean, I think I heard Mark say it before. I mean, where's Sancho's head? If United don't go for him now, how's he going to be feeling next summer? He thought, well, they didn't want me then, so why should I wait around a year?
The player wants to come now, doesn't he?
If he wants to come and United don't get him now, then his head is completely spun. And he's going to be open to all sorts of offers. So for me, I just feel like Barcelona will be in, Real Madrid will be in, and I think we'll miss out on a player that could be integral to us going forward. And like Ricky said then, he also gives us another style of play because he can cross the ball and maybe he can put a different forward and play a different formation. Maybe two centre forwards with a player that can play out wide and put a good ball into the box because he's had, 20-odd assists this season as well. So he brings a different style of play as well as adapting to the way we like to play that we all know right now as well. So he maybe gives us a plan B going forward and gives us more goals. So I don't feel like we can afford to miss out on him. I'm really not confident. My confidence has been shot this week with what's happened at the club, but I still have that little bit of hope that we can get a deal over the line because he's the only one for me right now that looks like we're really linked with. There's nothing else out there.
It doesn't seem anything concrete now. And I mean, I know it's a long window, it goes into October, and people at Manchester United will probably tell you that we're relaxed, we're taking our time with our targets. And, you know, it's easy to go off now because, you know, you look at other teams, you look at Chelsea being quite ruthless, you look at Arsenal doing their business. But if we do end up with 3 quality players, by the end of it, you might go, okay. So I'm kind of more like, I'm patient, I'm just waiting. I know it is frustrating right now, but there's still a hell of a long time to go. I'm more worried about having to start the season, disrupting the side because the transfer window carries on while the season's on. We obviously don't want that.
The only benefit is the Champions League starts after the window, doesn't it? That's
exactly.
Like the only benefit to it.
That one will be obviously cut tight. Jack Bailey says, I'd like a player like Tielemans in our squad. Don't know why we didn't go for him the first time, to be honest with you.
Because we're United.
Yeah. Ricky, and then I'll come to you, Saeed, your beloved Harry Beckenbauer. Look, we got to be careful with the way we talk about this, Rick, because at the end of the day, whenever there's something that's going on that involves a court and charges and bail and not guilty and guilty, you know what the saying is, it's, you know, innocent until proven guilty. And I think we need to remember that with what's going on, and remember that, you know, there's going to be a lot of press reporting a whole bunch of different things which just will be completely inaccurate. I read a story that his sister got stabbed. I read a story that it was just rival fans. I read a story that Harry Maguire was arguing amongst his own friends and then punched the policeman. We just do not know exactly what happened. However, obviously, when you're the captain of Manchester United and you're just a Premier League football player in general, when you do get caught up in a situation like this, it's never good for you, even if it wasn't your fault. It's just the nature of the beast. How do you see it panning out? Should he get found guilty of something versus, you know, if all charges are dropped and it was just dusted under the carpet sort of thing? His captaincy, how do you see it going?
As you were speaking there, Flex, I was actually thinking to myself, you were saying, like, you know, it's difficult because there's a court case going ahead. And if I'm dead honest, I'd rather not speculate on it. I know I'm on here to give me opinions.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Yeah,
I'd really rather not speculate on it. Hopefully he's been trying to break something up and somehow got mixed up with it. I'm just hoping and praying that at the end of the day, he's just like you say, he just finishes brushed under the carpet. Might not be the right phrase. You know, if they just if I mean, he's charged now, isn't he? So at the end of the day, he's either charges have got to be dropped or he's got to get a not guilty. So long as it's one of those two outcomes, I'll be over the moon. And I'm sure he will. So we'll try, because I'm hoping that that's going to happen, and I think it will happen. What's the point of speculating? You might as well speculate that he did something else as well, mightn't you? Do you know what I mean? So
no, I see where you're coming from there. That's what it's about. And I'll come to you, side. Twitter goes off and says, oh, it's a disgrace, strip him of the captaincy now, and all of this stuff. We don't know what happened. None of us were there. Police have body cameras and whatnot. Things will get proved or disproved in court. But I'll just ask you an open question. What's your feelings on what you've seen so far?
Like you said, they're innocent until proven guilty, and I feel like people have pulled this out of proportion. Really, I feel like people are playing on this. I feel like agendas have really come into reality. People that never rated Harry Maguire, people have always found something with Harry Maguire. This is what they needed right now. This is their bread and butter. This is what they've wanted to hear for so long, mate. And you know what? There's a large amount of United fans that want bad on players. That's really, really sad, mate. I like every player. I don't have a particular fancy to maybe Luke Shaw, but I don't dislike the player. That's two different things, yeah? Let's put it into context, yeah? And let's face the facts, yeah? Harry Maguire, for me, should still be my United captain, regardless of what he does. And I say that because this is out of the football pitch. And why I say that is because top-level footballers have done bad things. We look at Rio Ferdinand. Rio Ferdinand, what happened to him, yeah? What did he come back? He came back stronger. Still my United captain, legend of football club. This happens in football. There's always moments because you are on the spotlight. There's people that wanted to put you down, and there's people that are presses everywhere. Yes, Harry Maguire should have acted accordingly. Yes, Harry Maguire should have maybe acted responsibly. But for me, what you do on the pitch stays on the pitch for me. And Harry Maguire is Man United's best captain. I like Bruno Fernandes, but I looked at that bit where he was shouting at Lindelof, and I didn't like that for me because I liked it in terms of he gave Lindelof a bit of stick and whatnot, but I look at it and think, you know what? Is that right for Man United in the long run? Because what happens is, if he does it to Brandon Williams maybe, or he does it to Wan-Bissaka, will that create a kind of a sense of, you know what? Is he trying to do that to maybe...
Bruno, I think he was doing that because Lindelof is an experienced defender.
No. Maybe, but I just look at it, I think Harry Maguire offers more in terms of he's a defender. And sometimes Bruno Fernandes might come up and say, listen, why do you defend that? But you're not a defender, are you? I like Bruno Fernandes as a fighter, as a whatnot, but for me, Harry Maguire has the best qualities. He's a captain, he's a leader, he's England's captain for me, and I feel like he will be here for more, and that will bring a pedigree to the Man United side. And I feel like people need to get off Harry Maguire's case. He's our captain. Stand by your captain, back your players, and don't have a hate and agenda towards him. That's all I'm going to say.
Adam?
Yeah, same, pretty much touching on what Ricky said and what Saeed said there. One thing is 100% we know, and that's nothing. We don't know anything. That's the one thing we do know, and that's absolutely nothing. The other thing that we do know is that we have a lot of fans, like Saeed said then, with major agendas, people on social media jumping on this, not just normal people. I've seen Piers Morgan's tweet on it as well. Yeah. I mean, this is it. You can talk about Rio Ferdinand, Roy Keane. When something happens with a United player,
Rooney did one time.
Rooney. You know what I mean? Rooney was always tanked up. I mean, there's rumours about a 63 grand bar bill. I mean, I've been to Greece, and there's not seriously. If you could drink that much raki, 63 grand, then you wouldn't be alive, mate. You really would not be alive. So I don't know where that's come from, but that's all. That, like Ricky said, there's nothing we can say. There's all sorts of different stories come out. I even watched a reporter from Sky saying because of the rules in Greece, not one reporter was allowed in for the hearing, so nobody knows what's happened. There's no videos of anything. It's just the odd picture. The only concern I've got, if it does come to like that, is true, is what the police said. I know the police have to be genuine about it, but that's the bribe, the money bribe. That would be the one thing that concerned me. That really would. That would not go down well. But in terms of United and going forward, like I said, I think United, I think it would galvanise United, the world against United again, the old mentality. When we always had an issue with a player, I just spoke about this before, when there was an issue with a player, we sort of all gathered around, the club protected the player. I feel like this is what is going to happen with Maguire. Ollie Solskjaer is not going to get rid of Maguire as the captain. That's 100% certain because it's Ollie's captain. No chance in hell. Moving on, I don't think it'll affect his game. I think he's got the right character and the right attitude to deal with it. He did the right thing. He walked out the courtroom. He doesn't have to be there, I don't think, for the hearing. So it's not going to affect anything. going forward in terms of playing? We just have to wait for the hearing to go ahead.
Chloe Jenkins, thanks for contribution. She says, one question I haven't seen asked is, and you know what? My friend literally said this to me yesterday, actually. It's really interesting. Is why does a guy like Harry Maguire with all his money take a family break at a resort where it's known for single drunken Brits instead of going somewhere more classy? Now, look, I think with that one, you got to be careful because it's everybody's free right to go where they want to go with their family. But on the flip side, you have got an argument that maybe portrays actually when you are such a high profile person to be in and amongst it with your average holiday goer. And that's no disrespect to, us normal people who aren't multimillionaires. It can be more difficult. You remember when Ross Barkley went out on the Liverpool for a night out. Jordan Pickford's been out on a night out. I think remember how Jack Wilshere, they go on. I think it's very difficult, especially for the younger players, where I think we forget they're just normal lads. Harry Maguire is a lad from Sheffield, and away from football, dare I say, probably likes to go out or whatever. He probably has to tone it down now. He's Man United captain.
Steven Gerrard, mate, as well.
Steven Gerrard. What I'm saying is it can be difficult for players to go into normal surroundings. So maybe would it have been better for him to get a private island, stay away from everyone, and just do his own thing rather than being in and amongst everyone? But then the thing is with that is they're not prisoners. They're not they're not enslaved. They can go and do as they please. But I suppose the question is there. I mean, do any of you guys think that you look at Mykonos being really popular now because obviously the quarantine rules are different. You can go there, quickly come back. A lot of, even on my Snapchat or my Instagram stories, I've got some mates over there, a lot of lads, a lot of girls. Everyone's going over to Mykonos right now. Maybe that might not have been a good idea, but we're really only saying that because the incident happened. So it's hard, isn't it? I think Ricky gets that one there in terms of actually the speculation is we don't really know, which is what we've all said. We don't really know what's going on. It's more about putting a bit of respect on the situation. I wanted to make sure we do that on this platform. We've got a duty to do that because, yes, there'll be memes going around and people sending you funny pictures and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, we don't know what's gone on. He's gone out of there with his family. And how do we not know that his family wasn't in danger? And like Ricky said, he was trying to stop something and it went a bit south. It happened.
And also, you got to realise that who would have known throughout all this Rona business? He would have probably not went Mykonos. He probably would have went somewhere in the Spanish islands, and nobody would have heard of the story. So it's all a bit context in it. Everything's going to be highlighted now because of the COVID. You can only go select destinations or whatnot, and more people are going where he is right now, and you see less people, footballers there as well. So it's an unfortunate situation for me.
To the last sort of thing of the show, I'll go to Ricky actually, and then we'll go around the lads and finish off the show. Ricky, a lot has been made about our substitutes, and like we spoke about at the top of the hour, the fact that Solskjaer's reluctant to use them. What do you think will happen to the guys that may be surplus? Your Jesse Lingards, your Pereiras, your Dalot, your one Matter. Do you think that some of these players will end up leaving, or do you think because we might not spend what we think we're going to spend, some of them will probably stay? And what do you want to happen?
I think you mentioned Pereira and you mentioned Jesse Lingard, and I see when I put on Twitter that he should have used his substitutes earlier, I saw quite a lot of people saying Jesse Lingard and Pereira. I don't mean Jesse Lingard and Pereira. I mean Juan Mata, Dan James, or Igalo. They're another level above, without any doubt. So we have got some subs who are worthwhile. Adam missed the early part of the show. I was saying earlier in the show, Adam, that with 20 minutes to go in that game, Rashford was out on his feet. Don't tell me that those other players who are Premier League footballers are not going to do a better job for 20 minutes when they're fit, raring to go, hardly kicked a ball in week, and not to bring one of them on for the player who's struggling and tired. It's beyond me. And there isn't that much difference between them. And in some parts of the game, no one could deny that, if you was going to replace Rashford or Greenwood with say, Juan Mata, nobody can deny that Juan Mata's not got a little bit of something that they've not got. That eye for a quick pass, it might just be the one that makes the difference. I know, for example, if you bring Mata on for Greenwood, Mata's not exactly going to whack one in from 25 yards, but Greenwood's not exactly going to thread Marshall through on goal either, is it?
This
comes down. You just change it up, it might work for you.
This comes round into the actual question that you said, Flex, there, of like, it comes down to Ole at the end of the day, doesn't it? It's like, does he trust his whole squad? Has he got an idea in his head about a way of changing the team that's out there with the players he's got on the bench? Like Ricky said then, yeah, Mata, he's not my cup of tea for starting a game, but when the players are tired, deep into the end of a season game in a semi-final like they were, then he's one there that could probably think 2 passes ahead all of a sudden. And then maybe that run Martial has made comes off. Maybe that ball out wide comes off more. But when it's one-dimensional, it's easier to defend against. I always said this. It's why I love risky passes. When the defence knows exactly what a player's doing and they feel like they've got him nailed down and he is getting tired, then it's easier to defend against. And it gets demoralising for the forward as well. So he does need to make substitutions quicker. He really does. And there was no excuse, really, because we had 5 to make, didn't we, through all of lockdown. I can't remember how many times we used all 5. I think the one time we did use it, it was to our detriment against Southampton, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So
when I did a thing on Twitter, I don't know if any of you saw it during the week, about the number 22 Vasquez who Navas, and Navas crossed it and they scored. Yeah. I mean, I'd never heard of Vasquez. Never heard of him. He'd been on the pitch 4 minutes and he more or less made the goal. So don't tell me it isn't worth us using some of our subs.
That's a good point. I saw someone else tweet at the time, Saeed, that, you know, Ollie blaming the subs. And we do get sucked in a little bit as fans because we've seen a lot of those players have consistent starts and maybe not be at the races. So it's almost like we go, well, they're rubbish and can't do anything. But I do agree with Ricky. In the last 15 to 20 minutes of a game, if your first 11 that we know is the best 11 isn't doing it, you've got to give the likes of Dan James and Igalo. Maybe, you know, you never see Ollie go, right, Rashford, you're dead on your feet. Martial, you're amazing in every position. Go to the left, put Igalo up front, put Mata on the right. You're going to make a chance with those good players on the pitch.
I said it all wrong. I think this is Ollie's kind of insecurities of not having a plan B. I really do. And it's going to sound far-fetched. It's going to sound a bit harsh, but I think Ollie doesn't have a plan B. And what he does is, for me, I called it here. Ricky's made a brilliant point there. Vasquez, yeah? Is he better than Mata? For me, he's not better than Mata. De Jong, I understand De Jong's a good player, but Igalo's on the bench. Ollie's Igalo's a player that Ollie bought. He bought it for a reason. He said, I'm going to use him as a squad player. He's going to be someone that could come off the bench. You don't bring Igalo on when there's 2 minutes to go. What's Igalo going to do in 2 minutes? You know what I mean? The likes of McTominay, you need a bit of energy in midfield. Bring on McTominay to maybe, you know what I mean, sort something out. I cried out for 4-4-2. When we lost the ball, we should have went 4-4-2. Igalo and Martial up top. Maybe Dan James on the left. Matt on the right. Sort something out. Do something different. And Ollie doesn't have that. And what it will be is he'll keep blaming it next season, even though these players will have to be bought. Like I said it every time and time again. Daniel James was absolutely pivotal for the first quarter of the season. The game against Norwich, the game against Chelsea, Man City away. He was brilliant in terms of getting past the byline, going in the byline, going in behind the fullback. He was absolutely pivotal. McTominay, again, in certain games, his energy was good. You know what I mean? There's certain players. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer needs to work with his players and manage them. And say to, listen, Daniel James, I want you in this game. That certain things used to do with Nani. Right, Nani, I don't need you this game, but in the next 2 or 3 games, I want you in that game and I want you to be ready. And that's why I believe Ole Gunnar Solskjaer needs to work with his players and say, listen, you're all part of the squad, but I want you to be on the ball. I want you to be on ready 20 minutes to go. But if he's not trusting him, when can you trust him? That's my question. If you're not going to trust him now, yeah, what we're going to do in the Champions League when Paul Pogba gets injured, when Bruno Fernandes gets injured? You've got to trust his players. Get them to the level. They play for Man United Football Club. If they can't play for Man United Football Club, you might as well sell them. Sell Lingard, sell Pereira. If you don't think they're good enough to be off the bench and start them, then you might as well forget everything then.
That's what he's, you know, I agree with everything you guys have just said there, but I think that's what Ollie is actually trying to do. He's trying to almost get those players out. Look, I don't even want to use them for 5 minutes, mate. I don't even want to. Do you know what I mean? I'm only going to play them when we're 5-0 up against.
So the combination of what's happening with the Glazers and Ole is a combination that's ultimately going to lose him his job, because we're talking about money there. Look, our owners have just spent 90 million on a contract for Tom Brady. So it's quite clear where the priorities lie at the moment. You know what I mean? There's money there, but it just doesn't seem like, look at the net spend over the last 3 years. Do you know what I mean? Our net spend, 60, 70 million. Do you know what I mean? It's getting that way, and we're losing out of players to actually sell on, to actually free up some funds, because the players we've got now are ones that not a lot of other clubs are going to pay a lot of money for. And definitely the only clubs that have got money aren't going to buy them players because they need better. So we've got this is where I don't think we'll raise enough money with the likes of Lingard, Smalling sales like that. 20 million for Smalling's a good price. I don't think anyone else out there is going to spend more than that for that quality of player who has actually any money to spend. That's the problem. And unless they back Ole, I don't see him succeeding at all. He's clear, like you said, Flex. He wants rid of a lot of them players because he wants to bring other players in with a better quality. And it's not happening. So this is ultimately where Ole will fail, because the club are not going to back him. And has he got the next level coaching, tactics, the next idea to change things up, like Ricky said, with the players we've already got? He's shown that over the last 2 years that he's not willing to even try it.
What he needs to do, without any shadow of a doubt, is occasionally give. When I say occasionally, almost every game, because there's a few of them, right? There's a few of them. If you look post-lockdown, when we went on a really good run, to me it was when all the players were then fit and playing. Matic was playing a lot. Pogba was playing a lot. Bruno was playing a lot. Anthony Martial was playing a lot. Those 4 players, to me, are the 4 vital players. The other players that play with those 4 have got a great chance of playing well. Now, those 4 players playing in the same team, Juan Mata has never started with those 4 players, never once. Igalo has never started with those 4 players, never once. Dan James has never started with those 4 players, never once. It's no good. It's no wonder that Greenwood was playing well when we were playing well. It's no wonder that Rashford was playing well. But I think maybe one of them other players would have played well playing with those 4 players. Now, when you're making 6 changes against Norwich, what they're going to do? It's a struggle. It's a struggle.
Yeah.
We basically, I mean, look, we beat Norwich 4-0 in the league. We beat them 3-1 away in the league. Then we played them in the cup. We played a weakened team in the cup, and he had to bring some of them on. He had to bring Martial on. He had to bring Matic on to put the game to bed. What he should be doing in those games is playing virtually a full-strength team and giving 1 or maybe 2 players a chance of playing with those players. That's what he should do. And then see how they do. You might suddenly go, wow, how well did he play today? Do you know what I mean?
Listen, got through a lot this show. We've come to the end of the show. Thanks for joining us, guys, especially a little bit short notice. We went live, given that Pogba news. If you have just joined us at the end of the video, I don't know where you've been, but as you can see by the title, Mino Raiola has confirmed that Paul Pogba will be staying at Manchester United. But like Adam said when he came in, we kind of knew that already. But Saeed and Ricky were happy about that. And the Sancho deal, varying opinions on that. So drop your views in the comments in the boxes below. Smash a like on the video. Hit the subscribe button. And guys, I'm going to try and get you to do this. Literally 1-word answer. Yes or no is all I want from you guys. I know you'll smile when you do it, but I just want a yes or no answer as we sign off. Ricky, do you regret selling Lukaku to Inter Milan?
Yes.
Okay, interesting. Adam, do you regret?
No.
Saeed?
No, but I'm happy for him. That's the difference. I'm happy for him, but no.
What's going in on goal?
No, I feel like, I'm happy.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, okay. I'm not going to slate him.
He's got the right manager for him to play. Even though he's gone.
He's probably going to leave. Ricky, just to finish off, did you say yes because you feel that we could have changed the way we played to get goals out of him, play Martial on the left?
You said a 1-word answer, so I didn't get a chance with it. And I did a lot of it. I stopped it. But you opened the can of worms. You appreciate that when he went, he had to go. But I believe he only had to go because Ollie didn't fancy him. He didn't play him all the time. He's one of those players, Lukaku, who, everywhere he goes, when he leaves Inter Milan are as good as us. Make no mistake about it. And he's playing every game. And wherever he goes from there, he'll go to another similar-sized club, if not bigger, and he'll be playing all the time. He's one of those players who just plays all the time. Got 27 goals in his first season with us. Played a lot less in the second season and got 17. He's got 34 goals playing for Inter Milan.
His goal record never lies, to be fair.
Yeah. If he'd have been playing for us and playing every week, Well, like we've got 3 forwards who have averaged 20? They've averaged about 20 each, haven't we? If Lukaku would have been playing at 9 all season and Marshall would have been on the left all season, that average would have been higher. I've got no doubt about it. But he would need to have been playing all the time like he was before Ollie came in charge. Yeah. I do appreciate he had to go in the end. I do appreciate it.
Yeah. Guys, we'll leave you to it. Go and enjoy the Champions League final, and remember that we will be in it this time next year, as we are now in the Champions League. Yeah.
For how long?
Who do you guys want to win?
PSG.
PSG.
No, I'm going Bayern, mate.
Bayern.
You've got a fancy Bayern. I think I'd like Bayern to win. Yeah, they're a great team.
I'm going to go with Bayern as well. I think their football's been immense and they've been battering teams since the start. So it'd be good to see them finishing the job. Right, guys. See you guys later. Thanks for watching. We are out of here. Peace.